Good morning. Happy Friday and welcome to this week's Coffee with the Principal. This is Principal Huntsberger. Happy New Year. I'm so glad that you've taken the time to join us this morning. Thank you so much for being on Coffee with the Principal. Happy New Year. Hope you had a great winter break and we're excited to get started in this new year. So let's get going. So as a reminder, you've joined the meeting muted. Feel free to use the chat box as needed. We are recording the meeting. We find that a lot of folks are going onto YouTube and checking out the archive later if they're not able to make this exact time. Feel free to use the raise hand feature in Zoom during the Q&A, and when you're called on, please unmute yourself and ask your question. We are archiving these on YouTube, and you can access any old Coffees with the Principals at bit.ly/KJSA YouTube. Awesome. So we are back in class this week and excited as we get students ready to continue to academically perform and engage and learn. And I got to stop into all of our classes this week, but some of the highlights this week, we saw that students were engaging in a writing activity that involved some randomization when it came to dice in their online selection of writing prompts in their history classes. So this is one of our students creatively engaging in how to summarize the writing prompt based on what the randomization of the role might be. So super excited to see what kids are doing history classes. In our math class, I'm always excited about seeing what's going on in math class. Our 8th graders are moving deeper when it comes to solving algebraic functions, graphing algebraic equations. Here we're solving more and more complex equations using different properties like distributive property, associative property, commutative property, because we're learning that algebra is simply learning about patterns among numbers, and variables can be just replaced for numbers. So our scholars are excited about learning that as we go on. One of the things that we got to celebrate this week was some grants that were awarded to some of our teachers. One of them was a $200 grant for Ms. Sanchez for Learning Center Manipulatives, funded by our local Rotary Club through a teacher mini grant program. So congrats to Ms. Sanchez for that. And also $200 each for Ms. Alejandre and Ms. Bennett for enhancing their classroom libraries, donations from the Playa of Venice Sunrise Rotary. So we were super excited about that as well. And while I'm here, I'll also mention, and I forgot to put a slide for it, that two of our teachers, Ms. Sanchez and Miss Dunklin, both received large grants for classroom projects from California Educators, which was a credit union that operates grants for educators in California, and Miss Sanchez and Miss Dunklin were both recipients of that. So we were excited to celebrate them and see what great classroom projects will be happening there. Couple things that are going on. One is in the past 3 years or so, we have had Career Day at Katherine Johnson STEM Academy, and Miss Guith does a tremendous job of putting this on every year. In February, we invite professionals from all walks of life to come and share for a little bit with our students, so that our students can see what are some of the various careers they may be interested in. So these are some of our highlights from last year, and Ms. Guth does a great job with this. And so anyway, I wanted to share this because we're looking for more presenters this year. So it's scheduled for Friday, February 17th. So we got a little bit of time, but I've included the link in the chat. If you have availability on that Friday, the 17th, and can come in and share a little bit about your career with our students, we would love that. The link is in the chat, bit.ly/KJCareerDay23. If you're not sure, but you have questions, feel free to reach out to Ms. Guith at shalani.guith1@lausd.net. Another thing that we are excited about, again, Ms. Guith is leading the charge on this, is LMU success coaching. So one of the ways we partner with Loyola Marymount University is through the success coaching program. And it's a program where we get a handful of LMU counseling students who are in Ms. Guith's counseling class, which she teaches and is an adjunct for. And they come to our school after school once a week, and they meet with our students regarding social emotional learning and peer relationships and academic goals, test taking strategies, and mindfulness, and all of those kinds of things that are challenging to navigate as middle school students. So we are opening this to any of our students, but there is a limit on the number of students who can participate. So if you're interested in having your child participate, or you just have questions about it, again, reach out to Ms. Guith, and she would be more than happy to answer questions that you have about the success coaching program. All right. One of the things that we are excited about, again, this is our third year, we will be participating in FIYA basketball. So we have a team of 15 of our young men from Katherine Johnson STEM Academy who are on the FIYA basketball team. It's under the leadership of Coach Scoop. Coach Scoop is a guardian of one of our students here at the school, and he's generously stepped up to coach the basketball team. He brings lots of basketball experience playing for Division one team in my hometown of Syracuse, New York. So that's a cool connection. But the boys' first game tonight is at 7 p.m. And then additionally, our after-school program, the Beyond the Bell program, is having a girls' basketball team. And so we're still finding out more details about more specific logistics around that. And as soon as we know that, we'll share that more with families who may be interested in supporting our young scholars in this way as well. All right, a little bit about this. So we sent out this notice to families once this week, but it'll definitely, you'll get it again. LA Unified, let me back up and say this. One of the most contentious issues every single year in LA Unified is the academic calendar. There is no way to design an academic calendar that everybody loves. There is always somebody who doesn't like it, and that's okay. But LA Unified does really want to be mindful of families' wishes and desires and preferences when it comes to the academic calendar, specifically around scheduling breaks. And so LAUSD has launched a survey for families. It is available right now, bit.ly/LAUSD Cal survey. The link is in the chat. Hopefully you've already responded, but if you haven't, you can do so now. And it asks you information about, what grade level your child is in, what region there are in. If you're on this call, you're in Region West when you get to that question. And then they ask you 2 questions about your preference for Thanksgiving break and your preference for winter break, whether for Thanksgiving, your preference is to maintain a week-long break for Thanksgiving or switch to only Thursday and Friday of Thanksgiving week. And then a question as to whether winter break, maintain the 3-week winter break, or switch to a 2-week winter break. And obviously both of those, where you land on that will have implications for the rest of the school year. We don't know quite what that looks like, but every year the state of California says there's got to be 180 instructional days. And so this is just a little bit about providing the school board more information about how to make a really mindful decision about this, knowing that it's impossible to please everyone. We do want folks' feedback. Okay. Couple other things. One is this. So we are getting close to the time where we're opening enrollments again for next school year. So the 2023-2024 school year, we are going to open our enrollment for new students late January. Here's the good news. If you're an 8th grader right now, we won't see you next year because you'll be in high school. But if you're a current 6th grade or a 7th grader, you don't have to do anything at all. Your enrollment will automatically continue unless we reach out to you and say there's an issue like behavior. But your enrollment will automatically continue if you're a current 6th grader or 7th grader. But if you have neighbors or friends or connections in your child's elementary school that are maybe have been here for a tour or whose kid came here during a future Rocket Day, and just have questions about it, you can let them know that we're opening our enrollment in late January of this month. So our goal is by the 31st, but it will be sometime that week. One of the things that also to be on the lookout for is every year we send out our school-wide expectations for students. We also print it in the agenda planner that they all get, so it's there as well. So it's a new semester, and it's always good to refresh on these things. So we'll be sending each of our families a digital copy of this that we're going to ask you to review and initial and sign. So be on the lookout for that. It'll either come today or Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Just a reminder of our school-wide expectations and policies to keep everyone safe and learning here at the school. All right, just 2 quick reminders, and then we can do Q&A. So the first reminder is that students continue to have access to tutor.com, which is an online tutoring platform that kids can access 24/7 any day. They literally log into Schoology, pick any course, doesn't matter, and then scroll down to the link that says tutor.com, and they can get an on-demand tutor right then and there, or they can schedule one for a future time if there's a particular tutor they're looking for, and that can really help them with their academics this year. And we encourage folks to encourage their children to engage in tutor.com. Let's see. Last announcement is Monday. As you all know, we do not have school. It is Martin Luther King Day, and so we encourage families to take the day to honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, who continues to be an inspiration, particularly for those in education. These are some quotes that you can share with your child. We encourage you to potentially watch a film about the life of Dr. King, or go online and find an article about them and about him, and engage your children in that particular way. And so we'll return to school on Tuesday, what is Tuesday? Tuesday's the 17th of January. Okay, we'll get to Q&A in just a second, but I realized there was just one more announcement that I had, and that was this. So some of you know, or actually all of you know, if you're a 7th or an 8th grade family in particular, we currently have an opening for our 7th and 8th grade science position, science and Spanish position, that we've been looking for all year long. And we are continuing to look for one person to be a permanent member of our team in that position. However, I'm very excited to share with you that we have got a long-term substitute who is someone consistent, who will be there every day, who will be delivering instruction and planning instruction and supporting the students specifically in science and in Spanish for the interim until we get that, a full-time team member. So her name is Miss Clark. She is on Schoology. She will be on Class Dojo shortly, but we're excited to have her on the team. And so when we have, for example, like parent conferences, you'll be able to meet with Miss Clark specifically about science and Spanish. When we have not back to school night, but open house later in the spring, you'll be able to meet Miss Clark then as well. So I'm thankful to Miss Clark for joining our team, at least until we get the role filled. And so it'll be beneficial to have someone very competent and someone very caring about our kids in that consistent role for them in that course. All right. So with that said, I'm going to pause and see if there might be questions that folks might have before we wrap up for the day. All right. Well, I won't belabor it, but thank you so much for joining our meeting today, and I look forward to seeing you. Some of you I might see tonight at a basketball game, but hopefully we have a great 3-day weekend, and we'll see your kiddos back here on Tuesday. Bye-bye.